Paul. We're not really related to the pickleball industry directly, but I have a son, Jack. I'm usually referred to as Jack's dad. Um, he's turning 21 this month, and he has Down syndrome. And one of the first things I thought of when he was born is like, am I going to be able to have that father-son sports relationship with that? And he's highly functional, so we get to play some. But as he's getting older, you kind of grow out of those team sports, and you're looking for something to do. And pickleball is our answer, and
Definitely.
we love it.
Love it. Thank you so much.
My name is Kim Ashton. I normally do partnerships and media as a full-time job, but I'm also a board member on Pickleball for Good Fund, which is bringing inclusivity and just a ton of grant making across the country. Why I'm here is because I have three adopted kids, and they have a wide range, and it's very difficult to find something to do as a family. One of them is challenged mentally, that's not the right word to say, intellectually challenged, and she's also deaf. And it's one of the things that we can do on the court. We sign and whatnot, and various ages. It's awesome because finally we have something to do, and the kids don't fight.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for the great attendance here. My name is Taylor Nichols. I'm with Chicken and Pickle. I'm the adaptive pickleball coordinator. I run all of our adaptive programming throughout all of our locations, which we are now we'll have our 10th location that has monthly adaptive programming, and it's free of cost. We really just want to, advocate for the sport, bring more awareness to the adaptive side of things, get more athletes out, give them more opportunities. I say, pickleball is for all, it's for everyone. I honestly, truly believe that it is the most inclusive sport that there is because, it doesn't matter your limitations. It doesn't matter, your age, your skill level, you could get out there and play. I'm a former professional motocross athlete. A little over 6.5 years ago, I got paralyzed while racing. So I raced dirt bikes all my life, and really just, I play other adaptive sports, but I really love that, with pickleball, I feel like it's probably one of the easiest sports to learn, hard to master, but anybody can get out there and play, and that's what we want to do is just help grow the sport and really just try to provide them opportunities for all communities to get out there and play and enjoy the sport that we all love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. That was wonderful.
My name is Evan Dorian from Rad Pickleball from Southern California, and we do pickleball paddles, apparel, accessories, and we are all about letting everybody bring their own style and vibe to the sport. It's a great sport. Everyone loves playing it. But we want everyone to bring their own personality, their own vibe, because everyone's got their own little thing going on. So let's let them, bring that to the court. And so we want to, let people do that. And we do that through our paddles, through really cool creative designs and products that they resonate with. And so when they show up to the court, they can, bring their stuff. So it's cool. And we've been able to do a lot of cool activities and events through Orange County, and we want to continue to do that to help people discover pickleball because it's such an awesome sport. You can meet so many amazing people through it from all walks of life. So you've got kids playing at the early ages. At my son's 3 years old, started playing at 3, and then I'm playing against people in their late 70s that are beating me on the court. So it's like, wow, this is awesome. My son's going to be able to play from 3 years old till he's in his 80s. So, and you meet, everyone you meet, too, is just so happy to be out there and just connecting with people. And the people I've met through the sport and just going through these events and meeting people, everyone's got that stoke, and they're really happy to be a part of it. So there's a lot of people that don't know about pickleball yet, and to have them discover the sport. Once they play it, they're hooked. So there's a big future with pickleball, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So
Thank you very much. Can y'all hear me on this thing here? This might sound louder than me, but okay. All right. Well, I'm holding it way up here. How about that? Is that better? Oh my gosh. Can you see my face though? I see, that's the point. All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Brad. Oh, Evan. So one thing Evan mentioned though, this is an adaptive and inclusive panel. And talking about inclusivity is not just about injuries and wounds and who all that. One thing I love about pickleball myself is how inclusive it is, because it's not like tennis where you got to be quiet while you play. You can be loud, you can be bright, you can wear certain colors. Yeah, you can't wear the neon colors that match the ball anymore, but I love coming out to the court with my bright shoes on and having fun, because you get to really be yourself, or whatever that means to you. Yep. And also, as others mentioned, like as far as like Taylor and Mark said, I don't know if a lot of you can see, you can see me or if you can hear my voice. I only have one arm. Surprising, I know. And so it makes me a little challenging to play sometimes in sports. But I have an opportunity and honor to work with individuals from all over this country and all over the world for many types of injuries, from illnesses, wounds, from the Special Olympics with individuals with intellectual disabilities and all. And actually, those are some of my favorite people to work with, because they come out there and play with all heart. They have fun. They enjoy the sport. And then the pickleball provides that means so that we all can play. Like you mentioned, a sport for life, where my first time ever playing, I had an 84-year-old man stand in one spot and laugh while he sent me all around that court chasing balls. And I was like, I swore from that day that I was going to learn this sport and come back. Now it's only these 77-year-old Debbies and Mary Sues with their knee braces that come and whoop me, but it makes it fun. And I love it. You can see from the youth that's played the sport until the elders, we all have a place in the sport. So, what was I going to say? Oh, Taylor. Chicken and Pickle. I don't know if any of you have ever had the chance to visit one of their facilities. They're awesome, and they took a stance on becoming inclusive. I know that all your locations, I believe you have 2 chairs there for anybody to come out and try out anytime. We, from Military Adaptive Court Sports, we host clinics for our veterans in multiple their facilities. And to be able to have chairs and have the means and the resources for anybody to participate when they come is highly impactful, and it helps our job. Because sometimes you have people that haven't left their house or been on the couch for months or years trying to deal with their mental illnesses and mental struggles, and they come out and hit a ball with us, and it changes their whole world. So I get to see wholeheartedly all the time what this sport has done for others. It's a very inclusive but highly adaptable sport. My next thing on adaptive is I have a clinic coming up in October. Dang, you can't hear me that far. Every time I move the mic, you can't hear me. Huh? Okay. I have a clinic coming up in October in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's going to be all visually impaired veterans. Most cannot see a ball. They've never heard of pickleball, but they're excited because we talked about it. We're going to bring chairs out so you can sit and just play. As long as you have that slam master thing, so you can make the sport adaptive for those that want to play it. So that way we're bringing anybody that can do this. And that's my passion, what I love about this sport. Any questions before I move on?
No, I was just going to say, yeah. And that's what I love about Chicken and Pickle before I even, got hired on for the company is, I don't think I've ever went somewhere or know of another company, big business, anything that has went out of their way to really, provide the necessity, devices or, mobility devices that you need to get out there and get you off the sidelines and make you feel included in the community. And like kind of like Gabe said, that's what I really like about pickleball is like when you go through, for me, I lived 25 years of my life as, an able-bodied person, right? So I've seen that, side of life for 25 years. But now, I see it from another perspective, which honestly, it's, been a blessing for me, and I truly try to live into my purpose and just I've seen too many times, in our community that, people are stuck in the house, like Gabe said, and don't want to get out and do these things and, have been in a chair, if not all their life, but most of their life. But these chairs that we compete in, the sports chairs, they can run like $8,000. So, with if you don't have the finances to go out and provide that, at Chicken and Pickle, we provide those opportunities to get you out and just see if you're even interested in being in those, this sport and playing it before you go out and spend the money, or, maybe that encourages you to go out to apply for a grant or, get some fundraising done to go get a chair for your own. And that's what I like, like I said about pickleball, is just like getting those people out of the house and really building that community within other people that maybe are, similar in their situation, or, you go out and you play with, your just local community that has nothing to do with disabilities, but it's getting them out interacting in a community that doesn't typically have the confidence to go out and be interactive with others. So that's what I really love about it, and what I've seen in it. And as far as like people that don't want to get out of the house and do things, and they just might not have the confidence or the means or the financial situation to do it. But with pickleball, it's like when they get out there and do it, they're like kind of hesitant at first. For our programs that we do, they're like kind of hesitant at first, and then they get out there and they're like, wow, like this is actually something that I'm actually capable of doing, right? So and that confidence really translates to everyday life, right? So it might just start out as like, oh, I'm playing pickleball, but then like they're getting out there and they're showing, they're proving to themselves that they're able to do something. Okay, well then they might, it might give them more motivation to go do, something else or go be socialized somewhere else, right? So that's what I love about it. And with Chicken and Pickle, we do these programs monthly, right? And it's free of cost, like I said, for all of them. We do have some outside sponsors that support our program, which we're very thankful of, because it does pickleball courts can get expensive, right? So like when you do it for a year, and thankfully we do have those outside sponsors that are helping us, and just seeing the need to help other individuals in diverse communities, right? And that's what we want to do, is just at the end of the day, it's impacting the world, right? We're all human. It doesn't matter which walk of life you come from, what limitation, what disability you have. It's just all about encouraging the next person, and giving them that opportunity to live a fulfilling life and keep going.
That was awesome, man.
Y'all got to clap because I can't clap, so.
Oh my God. So I just want to add a little bit to that. I've been in media on the pickleball side for 3 years now, so we've covered all of this. Chicken Pickle is one of, if not the best place for having all walks of life and inclusivity. It is an amazing place and program, and it's only growing. I'm excited to have Rad here. We keep bumping into different events together. I love Rad Paddle because they're all about community. They're all about being unique in building up communities. And I just want to grow, kind of make a comment on what Gabe was saying. I wanted to join the board at Pickleball for Good Fun because one of our first missions is we formed a partnership with Project Flex. So Project Flex is helping youth that are in jail, and they take them out and they play pickleball with them, and then they have to go back to jail, right, until they get out. What's awesome about that is they're noticing that their behavior is totally changed. It's giving them confidence. It's giving them something to look forward to. And then when they go out in the community, there's now community showing up on the pickleball court and wanting to hang out with them and wanting to grow that program as well. So it doesn't matter who is on the pickleball court. I've seen it. Fluffy Sally at 82 is going to whip your butt. And the only person that Fluffy Sally is going to lose to is honestly probably somebody in a wheelchair, somebody that's not able-bodied, because it's a different strategy. But everybody can play. It doesn't matter whether they're 3. It doesn't matter. It is a fairly inexpensive sport to get involved in. You can use your running shoes when you first start. You can order inexpensive paddles and then upgrade to Rad. And you can put some chalk down on a flat surface and you're good to go. But the goal is to grow this, right? And we want everyone to know about pickleball. It's growing extremely fast, and we want to get everybody just together. And what's awesome about pickleball, and I've heard it before, is it brings everybody together, period. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your socioeconomic background. It doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you're doing for work. I've seen people play pickleball to stay sober. I've seen people want to play pickleball because they came back a wounded warrior. I've seen them play pickleball after a divorce that was nasty, and they made friends. There's even a pickleball dating app now. So it's a big deal to be at PickleCon because we're starting here and we're growing it tremendously in the community. Pickleball is 100% really big in the community, and the pros are helping us grow that community, right, with awareness and other investors. And everyone on here is, spot on. It's only going to grow even more. I would like to hear more from Gabe because I have seen blind handball in person. It's an amazing sport if you've ever seen it. And I would love to hear more about how they're going to play pickleball blind. But other than that, I'm going to see if you want to make a comment first.
Oh, sure. I've been involved with Jack with sports his whole life, and the opportunities to play, usually in organized sports, there's not that many. Right. He does Special Olympics and so forth, and they may have 2 tournaments, for particular sports, for soccer, for basketball, and the joy on their face when they play is just your heart. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about all the stuff, all the fun times he has, and they hit a shot in basketball, and but it's, there's only so many opportunities, and with pickleball, I went out with him the first time, and I said, I'll take it easy, and I was hitting it to him. He was having me run all over the court, and he was doing backpedaling, and he was going, yeah. And I thought, I saw one of the panel beforehand and said he likes to trash talk. Well, I got trash talked to death. And I was like, it was all G-rated, but it was just very interesting. And I think the pace of the game, the size of the court is just amazing, because it just keeps you interested, and it keeps him off his computers and his playing Xbox and all that stuff. And he has diet issues to where we're always trying to, help him gain weight. He likes to go to the gym, but, he spends about 15, 20 minutes going there, and this really gets him the exercise that I think and it really does something with your brain, and you don't realize it when you're sedentary. It's like, you need that. You need that exercise. You need that interaction, and you feel like you're on par with whoever you're playing with, and I don't know. Can't say enough.
So thank you for that. You actually touched on the question that I was going to ask you, and Evan could ask him too, and Kim. So speaking of all the challenges and things we face, what are some of the challenges you can see y'all faced in your own communities, or from playing with your children, or with your job? Some of the challenges that y'all faced from getting them access to pickleball.
Not enough courts. There's a big lack of courts in every community. And as the sport expands and grows, I've seen it in the last 2 or 3 years, and it's just exploding, and there's just not enough courts. I think that has been kind of a big issue everywhere throughout the country. So hopefully that will be resolved sooner than later. More courts. Yeah, so that's what they're doing. More courts.
Yeah, so what I would say is just, bring them the more awareness to the sport, right? And then, there's tons of adaptive athletes across the country that are playing, whether they're in a wheelchair or, they got limb differences or whatever it may be. But, you didn't see that just when I first started playing just over a year and a half ago. It's like, where are all these people playing? Because we're not offered divisions at some of these tournaments, maybe local tournaments, right? But what about, these bigger tournaments, for instance, PickleCon and PBA, APP, you could go all day, but there's a need for that. Like, there's enough players out for that. So, I encourage everybody, to, how do we bring more awareness and educate, the promoters and things like that to include our divisions, because the players will come out, and play. And another aspect that I see the challenges that we face, competing in any sport, right, is expensive. And then, pickleball, it costs a lot to play. But on top of that, just add the challenges that somebody with a disability goes through, like whether it's, the expensive chairs, whether it's, the medical supplies that they need to bring and traveling, and I reserved a rental car with, hand controls because I need that to drive. Okay, then I get there and I have to wait 3 hours because they don't even have the car that I want. So it's like those different challenges, right, makes it hard for, us adaptive athletes to get out there and play. So I would recommend, and just, maybe the tournament costs, being a little more affordable with our divisions to kind of help promote that and, get it off the ground as far as adaptive divisions go, and really just come out and you would see a spike in adaptive play if it was a little more affordable. And we're not asking for handouts or anything like that, but we all want to see the sport grow as a whole. Like not just adaptive, but pickleball alone. But to get these more communities out, that would be the challenge that I would say to people. I just kind of also wanted to point out that there's not a lot of adaptive sports that besides tennis that you can go out there and play with an able-bodied, right? So like you're having, like you said, you're out there playing with your son, and you can't do that in other sports. And you have maybe children that are in a wheelchair or have a disability that are out there playing with their siblings that don't typically get to do that, or their parents or anything like that. So I would encourage and this is something I do at the courts in my community. It's like I might be the only wheelchair out there, but don't play me like I'm in a wheelchair and feel sorry for me. Play me like you would. Like I mean, that's the only way I'm going to get better, right? Like don't treat me any differently. So I would just say, like as far as the inclusive part, just we're just another player to get out there, and that's going to only encourage us to be better as well.
Thank you.
Coaches. My answer is coaches. They're coming along with more coaches, but like for our daughter, she's 23. She has an intellectual disability. She's also deaf. So there's a trifecta there, right? So not only do I need a coach that knows how to sign, but I also need a coach that understands how to play at a certain level or how to interact with her, like United Sports, like they had in high school probably. Your son probably had that in high school. She had it on basketball in high school. Now that she's older, not a lot available. Sometimes they'll take him and go bowling. She doesn't want to go bowling. She wants to go play pickleball. So she doesn't want to go bowling. Yeah. She's not going bowling. So what's awesome about that is there are communities popping up that are growing really rather fast. So I know the guy who started Austin Deaf Pickleball Group. He's amazing. That group has leaps and bounds. Now they're going to have a massive tournament, and then it's going to be 2 states, and then there's popping up in other states. And soon now I could see like maybe regionals and semis and, going to the granddaddy. But the problem is it keeps getting segmented. Yeah. I don't want it segmented. I want it to be all under one roof. Because the point of pickleball is supposed to be everyone together. Yeah. And I'm seeing it segment out more, and I don't want to see that from the media side. I want to see it more together. I want to see a deaf person play someone in a wheelchair and play Sally that I was talking about that whips everybody with 2 knee braces, and she's going to lose. That's what I want to see. And
now she's my partner.
Yeah, well, I know. I can see that happening. But she won't be my partner anymore because, she's not happy with my right coverage, whatever. But long story short, I really, and that's why I joined the board of Pickleball for Good Fun, because our goal is to bring everyone together and get more communities that don't have access and get them access and get champions and have volunteers and get coaches and grow this thing all over the world. That's the goal. And, I've met people from different segments. Like this is the adaptive inclusivity panel. Well, inclusivity is also different languages, and that's growing too, and people are doing that. Like, so I've noticed in different languages they're teaching for free. So why is nobody in high school, they taught my kid United basketball for free? Then I want to see more people and coaches teaching for free, because as you were saying, it's very expensive. It doesn't matter what kind of adaptive equipment you need, it's all expensive. And in order to make it more adaptive and more inclusive, they need to be able to get there. So how do you get transportation? How do you get them there? How do you get coaches? How do you get them paddles? How do you get them balls? The paddle and balls are the easy part. I know a ton of people that would help with the paddles. Rad.
We did. We shipped a bunch of paddles to Uganda, and that was awesome because they're playing in the dirt, and they've got a net, and they throw tournaments, and it's amazing to see how stoked they are playing pickleball, and they're just so happy, and they absolutely love pickleball too. So that's been pretty cool to. And
just to ad-lib on that, part of that story in that tournament in that different country is they were they didn't have any money. So these 4 kids, they were young, went across 3 borders in the middle of the night because they didn't have the right paperwork to enter this pickleball tournament, and they lost, and they didn't have enough money to get back. So what did all the pickleball people do? They gave them money to get back. So not only did they risk their lives to be included in something massive over there, but on top of it, the community rallied together and got them home. And I don't see that in any other sport that I've ever played or been around. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, I would have to say transportation is probably one of my biggest issues, and I guess I've adapted to it because I usually drive them around everywhere. But all his friends, they have to have someone drive them around everywhere, and then you have to sit around. If you're not playing with them, I like to play with them, but not every parent does, and having to sit around and wait, that kind of thing. But another thing, I think you kind of a little bit touched on that, what different groups, individuals, not segmenting them. Every single person, my son has Down syndrome, and everyone goes, oh, I love Down syndrome kids. But they're all different as night and day.
Very much so.
And every single person with a disability, whether it's intellectual or physical, different things. And one of the things that I've learned over my life is don't underestimate him. He can do stuff, and don't play down.
Yes.
You know, I'm not going to try to, kill him when I'm playing, but he won't have that same sentiment toward me. If he can beat me, he will beat me, and he will not feel bad about it. So.
What everything I've said, I agree completely with everybody with all you said. Like I've seen this on my 6-7 years of playing and teaching pickleball now. I've seen every challenge that we've all mentioned, and one that was what you just talked about that I love so much is something that I learned from when I teach with the Special Olympics, especially. If I give them a soft, free, easy ball, they'll struggle with it. But I put some power on it, they'll send it right back to me like it wasn't nothing. I'm like, whoa. So you don't make it easy on them. Like when I play people in chairs, I tell people all the time, when you see somebody in there, go for the chair. They're like, what? What do you mean? Go for the chair. That's a part of their body. It's the biggest thing that I've learned for all the challenges that we face is the community is what's going to matter. It's not just who we are up here is one part. We got to get over that and lump whatever we're dealing. But when we come out, it's y'all that makes a difference. If y'all are accepting of it, if you're like, oh, come play with me, you're going to get more people willing to play and try anything. You'll learn something from it too, whether you believe it or not, because you think, oh, how do I play against this person? What should I do? Treat them like a person. No matter what the age is, whatever they're going, they're out there for a reason already. If they made it that far, they want to be. I hate seeing somebody sitting on the side of the fence or on the chairs watching the game, smiling, looking like, oh, I can't do that. That's the first person I'm going to pick to be my partner. Say, come on, win or lose, we're going to have fun. And you can do that with this sport. That's what I love. It doesn't have to be an injury. It doesn't have to be a disability. Like you said, language barriers, all that matters. But the community. This is a very community-driven and social sport. I love all the sports that I shoot Paralympic archery, I race sailboats, I golf sponsored, and all this other crazy stuff. But this is my passion. I love it because I get to share it. When I'm having my down days, I can go play with my daughter, and she feels it. I go play with people that are older than me, younger than me, and it's not always about the competitive side of it, too. Yeah, there's the PPA, there's the pro level tournaments, you can do all that. But this amateur style, there is so much love and compassion in it. There is so many smiles. It's health. It's therapeutic and recreation, what we call it. Because you're going to get that mental health, that feel that somebody else is going to try me. And like, I've met some people that literally will not come to any other sports. That you give them a list of other sports, and pickleball is the only thing they ask for. I've been cussed out by some individuals with intellectual disabilities because I was gone too long from teaching them. I was gone 2 weeks and was teaching somebody else versus coming to their clinic. I've seen how impactful this sport can be on others, also on myself. But at the end of the day, it's always you. It's the crowd that's watching that's going to make or break this sport for it. If you're playing and you're sitting on the side, oh, we got our click and we don't want to let nobody in, it's going to make a bad moment for that other person. But this is here what grows this sport. From any other country to play in, to people watch, they want to see what we're doing. And the fact that we can have fun and laugh and scream while we're on this court, that stands out. And I pray that we all continue that to grow. Like the accessibility spot talk about tournaments, what Taylor mentioned. I've seen that being a huge thing. We get a lot of tournament directors coming up to all the time. Hey, can you find us some wheelchair players? And I'll go to view their venue. It's not accessible at all. It's steps, or the bathrooms are 2 miles away from anything. And I'm like, why would they want to come here? Why you're not making it? Or PickleCon, so to speak. $50 fee for amateur level wheelchair players. They're already struggling to get here, and now you want to pay another fee on top of it. I know it's just a business. Everybody has to make money, but I was taught pickleball for free. Somebody showed me the game for free. So my first time when I started teaching pickleball, I taught pickleball for free. Now there are lessons when there's somebody that's once you know how to play, you want skills and drills. Yeah, we can add a little payment to that. But this is a game. If you were taught it free, why not share it to somebody for free? It shouldn't be that big of a hump to get into this sport. Like look how many paddle companies that we have right now. If we can't get paddles to people, look how many ball companies. But why are we the voice of all that? They're begging, but that's what it takes. But so I thank you all so much for y'all taking y'all time to actually come and listen, because this is where it matters. When you're on the courts, when you're playing in the park, invite somebody else on. Invite somebody that you would never see. Let them try it, and let them enjoy the sport just like we enjoy it. Am I missing anything? It's only 30 minutes. Any questions? Y'all are clapping, so I love it. Thank you. If for anybody? Oh, okay.
I'm very interested in the visually impaired.
Yes.
I've got macular degeneration coming on, and I'm figuring I got to play as much as I can right now.
Definitely.
I'd love to know how.
So her question is about visual impairments. How, we all age, things happen in life. And when I tell people, for my partner that plays in the chair, I say, don't be discouraged from playing in a chair. Don't be discouraged from it, because life happens to all of us. Anything can happen. It's not trying to jinx yourself or nothing like that, but specifically when it comes to the visual impairments, there are many different color balls. There are many different shapes of ball. We're a military adaptive court. We're sponsored by Core. Shout out to Core. Thank you. But they have pink balls. There's lava colored balls. But then there's different foam type of. Adaptive sports means adapting the sport to the person. So you might not be see that yellow ball. You might not be able to see that neon ball. Let me find something else you can do. And then from that step, okay, maybe let's shorten the court a little bit. Let's sit down in a chair and let's see, just to get you playing. And we don't ever know exactly what's going to come. When the clinic I'm talking about that's coming up, we have about 20 people signed up for it. All different impairments of visual. Some can see more, like we were talking about from intellectual disability. They are not all the same. There's levels to all this, and that's an understanding we all get when we're around it. You learn that everything is not the same. So I have some people that can see out of one eye, but if they turn their head like this, they'll slam that ball to you if they can. But if you hit it to the other side, but it's being compassionate enough to take that into consideration, see what works for you, and then find some people around you that's willing to work with that with you. It's a game. It's for us to have fun.
Gabe, I'm going to add on to that real quick. I'm just going to interrupt you real quick to make this woman so happy. So I know a lot of secret product development stuff that's coming up and down, right? So I have to know the partnership stuff way ahead of time. There is stuff coming that will help, okay? There is stuff coming that will help. And I'm not talking about a ball with LED light. Gabe. No, just kidding. But there is stuff that it will be coming that will help. Right now, yes, there's different color balls. There also, everyone forgets, there's different kind of glasses. So I have seen some really cool new glasses out there, like Dinksy or Dink something. One of that, Dink something. That literally you can call them and they make them custom for you, and you tell them what color ball and if you're indoor or outdoor, and they will make the glasses different. I'm telling you, I've gotten a sample of those. The ball pops. It's unbelievable. So, and they do it a lot. There is a professional pro player that I will not out that is colorblind. And they do an amazing job, and it helps them be able to see the ball, because, as you can imagine, playing pickleball colorblind is very difficult, especially in the beaming sun. So there is stuff coming for that, but right now, Gabe's spot on. You can make courts smaller, colored, whatever.
If all else fails, it's 4 people on the court, right? Just have the other 3 wear beer goggles, and you don't wear anything, and play the game.
Yeah, hell
and
yeah.
make it fair.
Make it equal. Whatever you got to do.
They'll serve you the beer. Right. Any other questions? Yes.
Sorry.
Taylor, 2 questions. Is chicken and pickle coming to Northern Nevada anytime?
We're coming to Henderson, Nevada. That's going to be the first one in Nevada. And we have 10 locations right now. At the end of next year, we'll have 16. So 2 Colorado, 1 Henderson, Omaha, and then another Texas location.
All right, well, I'm putting a plug in. And then the second question is for the wheelchairs at the facilities. Would it, if they weren't in use, would it be kosher for an able-bodied person to
That's a wonderful
Great
question. So, and that's part of what I do is like I encourage, anyone and everyone. Hey, get in the chair, figure it out. It gives you a whole new perspective of playing. And another aspect of that is like when I am playing, with able bodies, I've been told several times that because I don't think any of us have touched on it yet, but I mean, obviously I'm the only wheelchair user up here, but for wheelchair users, we get 2 bounces. So essentially there's only 2 rule differences when it comes to wheelchair pickleball and, standing pickleball is you get 2 bounces, right? Only you, not your partner, if they're a standing player. And then when it comes to the kitchen and baseline, your front casters, the smaller wheels can go over the line, but your bigger wheels can't. So when I'm playing with standing players, they've actually said that playing with me or against me has made them a better player because strategic wise, with that second bounce, they're having to think about that. So it's made them think about the game a little more or be more patient. So that's been really, cool to see and hear from the outside as well. But yes, I definitely encourage even our staff, when in their downtime, hey, get in the chair, figure out how to maneuver it so you can coach the person that comes in if, I'm not there or somebody else that knows wheelchair play, but encourage them to get in so they can properly tell them how to play in a chair because, you're positioning different, the strategic of it is a lot different. And not only like we have these chairs at our locations, but it's for people that maybe have a disability that come in and that can't afford a chair or don't have their own chair. But what about the person that comes in with a broken leg that that just happened, and they're coming in for a party or they're out with their friends? I mean, hey, hop in a chair, learn, figure it out. You can still play and have a good time in your party or whatever that might be. So it's for everybody, and I always encourage people to get in the chairs and just see the different perspective of the game because, I mean, all around it's going to educate everyone, right?
Thank you for that question, Tim. And just to piggyback real quick off that, my director of military adaptive course for us, Mr. Stephen Harper, he's right behind you. If you see him, he's here. His job is to get out that chair for you to use that chair and experience it while you're here. So that's what that chair that he's rolling around with. He can miraculously walk, believe it or not. He can't play pickleball standing, but he can play sitting up. But we encourage everyone to try out the chair while you're here. Get it out because, like Taylor said, it's an experience. And life happens to everybody. It doesn't have to be of you being paralyzed. What if you get injured? You can still play and still enjoy the sport. Anybody else?
Awesome.
Yes. Great question. I love that question. And to answer your question, yes, there is. Actually, there's multiple organizations that specialize in teaching, working with people with disabilities. Like, so our instructors, all ourselves, we've all gone through certain different courses that have for working with different types of disabilities. But also, we just finished writing the manual for wheelchair/adaptive pickleball. And it's going to be circling around. USA Pickleball has it right now, and a few other people have it, so it's going. But it's there. But the best thing you can do is encourage your instructors, though, to spend some time with somebody with disabilities. On the other side, learning it. That's the best, because it's the worst thing you can do is like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I can't help you. It takes a few seconds to sit down and learn to serve from a different point of view, to learn to move from a different perspective. Because if you just cancel it out, you lost out on yourself, but also on that person. And the more, there's lots of growing to in this sport for adaptive impaired, but the more education there is about it, that's going to help all of us. And that's what's going to grow the sport, exactly. But yes, like I said, there's a manual coming out. There are stuff. We have information on that.
Yeah, I would say like experience is the main thing, right? Getting them in, a chair. But I mean, besides a chair, even if your program or facility can't afford a chair, right? How about, taking an arm away, playing one-handed or, put a, one eye, blindfold or, whatever it may be, just creating those situational play to be able to like understand the game a little bit differently, from their perspective, and being able to coach that.
Any quality coach is going to want to know how to coach a multitude of people from different views. And if you can't stop and just say, oh, You don't want to challenge yourself as a coach. Like that's the best thing. It's going to make you better as a coach because you'll learn something new from teaching this different way of hitting or this different perspective. It's going to benefit you in the long run.
And from the programming side, just talking to different facilities and venues and whatnot around the world, one of the things you could do is reach out to your community. Obviously, the SPED department would probably be the easiest first place to go. They're always looking for something to do with the kids. That's fun. Maybe high school, and then at least some staff can come, and then have the instructors support the staff, so the staff and the instructors can work together. Would be probably the easiest low-hanging fruit to do. Kids are definitely going to be growing. I think I would like to see the venues focus more on families. Like our family goes out together, we can play, and we can actually do something with our kids without being yelled at. And we're not just sitting in a movie theater, we're just not sitting in a restaurant, we're not sitting on video games. So that's where I think it's really important, because we have 3 adoptive kids, and I've only talked about the oldest, but the other 2 are also coming from an area where they have different luggage and baggage that comes with them as well. So the fact that we can actually do something as a family and have laughs is massive. All you have to do is just kind of expand on that within your facility. And you can, every community is different, but reaching out to those different departments, rec and all that, getting them in, most of the times, sometimes they have transportation, hopefully, to get them there. But that would be on the programming side, just on what Gabe said.
Well, I don't have anything to say particularly about that, but one thing about this panel is that every one of us comes through life with their own perspective. I have my perspective before Jack was born and after he was born. And after he was born, there's a whole world that I didn't know existed that was just over there that I would open up to, and it's a wonderful world. And I would say, I always thought, the first day when he was born, I thought, oh, my life's different. I actually felt a little sorry for myself for about a day. Yeah. And then I realized that later on that, you use sports as a way to connect to people. Well, he gave me that anyway, and then sports was just on top of that. And so be able to share all that kind of stuff is amazing. But, coming here, I was thinking I'm going to share my perspective with you. But one neat thing about this panel is that I learned a whole different perspective just being up here. And there's all different little areas that it just makes me feel even better about the sport. And I'm thinking, and open my eyes toward other things involved in that. And I appreciate that.
I mean, once you start recognizing how those things affect you in the sport, you'll see them in everyday life too. You'll see how inclusive and diverse life is everywhere you're around. Like, I was surprised to see that they had a lift on the stage. Like, I was glad that they had a lift. Like, certain things people wouldn't consider and even know about. So, but that's an important thing. So, did you have something else?
No, I'm just signing. Sorry. Susan is the founder of Pickleball for Good Fund, and she was going to say something, but I'm like, you have to talk to her later. You can't talk to her now. What were you going to say, Susan? I don't know. I'm not.
Go ahead, make it quick. I won't tell nobody.
It's everybody.
It better be for everybody. It better be for everybody.
It is. So yes.
Who are you, first of all?
I'm Susan Swern, also known as Dinkerbell. And I'm the founder and board president of Pickleball for Good Fund. And in answer to your question, part of the reason why we were founded is money seems to be the hugest barrier when we talk about anything of any stripe of life. So what I was going to say to you is, now I'm learning that what if we could work with facilities like yours? If these chairs or any other adaptive equipment is expensive, we will be raising the money to make grants so that we can help and also get the industry involved. What if there is a wheelchair company that's willing to donate a certain amount, or they'll cut the prices 50%? If we can create that for being able to make this more accessible, that's why we're existing. But using the philanthropic route, donations and individual givers, but also the private sector, because there are solutions out there. It's not that they're not, it's all about the money.
That brings us right back to what we said at the beginning. It's this community. This community is what makes this thing, the whole thing work and grow. And through this community, there's many levels to it.
One of the things that we always thought would be cool, someday we'd like to be able to do something like this, but is to be able to build pickleball courts in less fortunate communities and give them the opportunity to play pickleball. And they're going to love it, right? So it's just giving them that opportunity and making it happen for them, I think would be really, really cool for a lot of communities throughout the world. But start with our country here and figure out a way to do it. But I think that'd be really, really awesome. So
I know there's a lot of vacant and empty tennis courts around that can be used.
Yeah.
Just saying. But this
Yeah.
is
yeah,
respectfully, yes. Well, if anybody else doesn't have any more questions, anybody going once, going twice, we'd like to thank you. Again, personally, my name is Gabriel George. I'm the Pickleball Director of Military Adaptive Court Sports. We're at booth 35. Come by and see us anytime you have any questions. You'll see us rolling around playing. Make the men get out of that chair and use the chair because we'll take pictures and love that. Everybody here will be open. We're pretty much here all week. If
Here
you have
all
any
week.
questions, come by and see us. We thank you so much for your time. Thank you all for coming out.